$20 billion liquidated in 24 hours. That's more than the FTX collapse, more than COVID, the biggest wipeout in crypto history. Hi, I'm Dan from BeAWhale, and here's everything that happened last week. Alright, let's start with positive news. While retail traders were watching their portfolios burn, something wild was happening in the UK. For 4 years, yes, 4 years, they banned crypto exchanged traded notes. The regulators kept saying these were ill-suited for regular people. Crypto bad, stay away. Then Wednesday hits and they reverse everything. Just like that. The FCA announces crypto ETNs can now be held in retirement accounts starting October 8th. Yes, tax-free accounts. They literally admit the market has evolved and products are mainstream now. Translation: crypto won. They looked at the data and said, yeah, we got this wrong. Okay, this one absolutely blows my mind. Starting October 15th, that's literally this week, all Morgan Stanley clients can invest in crypto funds. Not just the ultra wealthy, not just people with millions, everyone.
Up to this point, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, and JP Morgan, they offered exposure to Bitcoin through the ETF wrapper. So that would be through like Mike Novogratz's firm Galaxy. But they have never decided to go direct and provide direct access to Bitcoin trading, Solana, Ether trading, which they will do in the coming months.
Let me put this into perspective. Morgan Stanley manages $6.2 trillion across 19 million clients. They've got 16,000 financial advisors, and now every single one of them can walk into a meeting and say, let's talk about Bitcoin. Here's what makes this absolutely insane. US retirement accounts are sitting on $45.8 trillion. If even 1%, yeah, just 1% flows into crypto, that's over $450 billion in fresh capital. They're starting with BlackRock and Fidelity Bitcoin funds, but the door, it's open now, and it's not closing. Okay, so picture this. It's Monday morning. Bitcoin just hit $125,000. People are celebrating. The fear and greed index is screaming greed at 64. Everyone's thinking, we're going to the moon. Then Friday happens. Trump opens Truth Social and drops an absolute bomb. 100% tariffs on China starting November 1st.
President Trump says the U.S. is imposing an additional 100% tariff on imports from China starting November 1st.
And just like that, boom, the entire market goes into freefall. Bitcoin goes from $110,000 to $102,000, the lowest since June. But wait, it gets crazier. $20 billion in liquidations across the entire market. Ethereum down to $3,500. Solana falls below $140. It's an absolute slaughterhouse. Now hold on, let me explain liquidations really quick. When you trade on leverage, you're borrowing money to make bigger bets, right? You've got $100, but you want to play with $1,000. But if your bet goes wrong by just 10%, boom, the exchange slams the door shut and you lose everything. So basically, that happened to 14,000 people in one day. Oh, and those tariffs? Trump's retaliating because China just announced they're choking off rare earth minerals, the stuff you absolutely need for computer chips, AI hardware, and crypto mining rigs. So, $20 billion just vanished. But here's the question. Where did it actually go? And was any of this even fair? That's exactly what Chris Marszalek, the CEO of Crypto.com, is demanding to know. He just publicly called for regulators to investigate. He's asking, did platforms slow down? Were trades priced correctly? Check out these numbers. Hyperliquid, $10.31 billion in liquidations. Bybit, $4.65 billion. Binance, $2.41 billion. Now hold on, Hyperliquid alone had more than Bybit and Binance combined? That's not just unusual, that's suspicious. And then it gets weirder. Binance admits there was a price depeg incident with stablecoins that triggered forced liquidations. One trader lost everything while identical positions on other platforms survived fine. If exchanges fall apart during volatility, institutional adoption isn't happening. Luxembourg's sovereign wealth fund just allocated 1% to Bitcoin ETFs, around $9 million. Now I know 9 million, that's nothing, and yeah, for a country it's not huge. But here's why it's historic. This is a government taking taxpayer money and buying Bitcoin, not a hedge fund, a European government. Their Director of Treasury called it a mature asset class with long-term potential. A government official just said that about Bitcoin. And Luxembourg is not alone. Norway increased Bitcoin exposure by 192%. Czech National Bank boosted Coinbase holdings, and Sweden proposed a Bitcoin reserve. Europe is quietly stacking while everyone else panics. While everyone was glued to Bitcoin's price, SEC Chair Paul Atkins revealed what's really happening behind the scenes. He's racing to future-proof crypto regulations before Trump leaves office. He wants to lock in rules that the next administration can't just snap away. He's talked about ending the no man's land littered with dead products caught between SEC and CFTC. That's quite a visual. Legal experts say future administrations can't easily reverse this, but, and this is important, they can shift priorities back to enforcement. Meanwhile, France is pushing hard to centralize EU oversight, warning that stablecoins threaten monetary sovereignty. The real battle? Centralized control versus decentralized freedom. The Bank of France called for ESMA to directly oversee all major crypto firms, and they're not being subtle. France's governor is laser-focused on dollar-backed stablecoins. He says MiCA has this massive weakness where companies can issue stablecoins inside and outside the EU with only partial reserves. He literally said stablecoins could weaken the euro and create dependence on non-European entities. Europe is terrified of losing monetary control, and this is happening as ESMA gets ready to take over crypto supervision. It's a massive centralization move. South Korea's National Tax Service just announced they will physically conduct home searches to seize cold wallets from tax evaders. An NTS spokesperson came out and said they analyze transaction history through crypto tracking programs, and if there's any suspicion of offline concealment, they're coming to your house. They're going to search it, and they're going to take your hardware wallets. Let that sink in for a second. They've already seized $108 million in cryptocurrency from more than 14,000 people over the last 4 years. And with crypto adoption exploding 800% since 2020, they're ramping up enforcement like crazy. Your cold wallet? Not as cold as you thought when agents are knocking on your door. S&P Global dropped the Digital Markets 50 index. 15 cryptos and 35 blockchain stocks. Denaris created a tokenized version by end of 2025 when S&P creates an index. When ETFs follow, billions flow in. Monero released Florentine Fermi to fight spy notes linking IPs to transactions. This comes after leaked Chainalysis videos showing they've been running malicious Monero nodes since 2021. The privacy war is heating up. While BNB hit all-time highs above $1,300, Binance founder announced a $1 billion fund for BNB builders. CZ potentially holds 64% of all BNB, worth $116 billion. That would make him crypto's richest person. Pavel Durov says we're running out of time to save the free internet. He's warning that new laws in Europe, the UK, and Australia, like chat control and digital IDs, could kill online privacy. Germany just blocked one bill, but Durov says the dystopian future is already creeping in. So here's the bottom line. The worst day for retail turned out to be the best day for institutions. While $20 billion evaporated, the UK reversed the ban. Morgan Stanley opened to 19 million clients, Luxembourg bought Bitcoin, and S&P created a crypto index. Every crash shakes out weak hands and brings in strong institutions. The infrastructure is being built right now. This isn't speculation anymore, this is adoption, happening in real time. If you like this recap, smash like, subscribe, and we'll see you next week.